Hello and welcome back, Squirrel Nation. I hope you're all having an outstanding day. Today we are covering my Batman build guides. This guide is all-inclusive. I'm going to cover everything you need to know to pick up Batman and start practicing with him and get him to a point where you can dominate the ladder. So diving in, stages of the game, Batman is extremely OP early and mid-game, and then he falls off very hard late game. So the weaknesses, he has terrible disengage, and this is the reason he falls off hard late game, is that Batman requires very good positioning. He needs to get on the carries of the enemy team, their mages, their marksmen, and he's going to use his combo to burst them down. The problem is, once Batman uses his combo, which includes his ultimate, he has no form of dash or disengage. Also, the fact that he's jungling means he doesn't have flicker. So what happens late game is teams have got tanky enough, they've got enough burst damage of their own, to where Batman usually trades his life for the enemy carry's life. So he'll engage, let's say, a Teleonis, he'll kill her, and then the enemy team will just collapse and crush him. So that is why he tends to fall off. The other reason is because Teleonises or whoever has been getting killed by the Batman can start to build a little extra tankiness so they don't die to Batman's initial burst, and if they don't die to his initial burst, then Batman actually ends up just feeding the enemy team without even getting a kill. So that's why he falls off hard. That's also why he is kind of boom or bust. If Batman starts to snowball, if he gets an early kill, 2 early kills, he can snowball so hard. He becomes a tear on the map. You see the little bat sign above your head, and you just feel panic because you are dead if he lands his combo on you. But if he dies early, if he falls behind the enemy team, the chances of him coming back into the game and providing any value for his team is very minimal. So that's why I say a weakness of Batman is his boom or bust nature. I would not recommend playing Batman if you are not good at snowballing and winning the game before everybody gets to max builds. So as a rank, Platinum tends to be where people, they don't quite know when to end the game. They don't know how to be very objective focused and use their leads to end the game early. So that is probably a bad time to play Batman, because what will happen is you'll get early kills. You might start like 7-0, 8-0, have a crazy gold lead, and then slowly enemy team just keeps farming because you can't get towers, you can't kill their core, and then they'll be back in the game before you know it. Strengths of Batman. Longest invisibility in the game. This is amazing because it allows Batman to scout, and we'll cover that more a little bit later on. His burst is insane, so between his S2, his S1, and his ultimate, that is going to kill any mage or marksman. So yeah, just insane burst. And then he is highly mobile because it is passive, and then I built Boots of Mobility, which just makes Batman so quick around the map. Okay, so now that we've covered the strengths and weaknesses, I want to discuss the playstyle of Batman. The best playstyle, I think, for Batman is using him as a scout. And what do I mean by scout? I mean that I'm going to use my ultimate on Batman and take advantage of my invisibility. I'm going to go clear bushes. Instead of having my team have to face check the river bushes, I will ult, I'll be invisible, I'll go face check the bushes, make sure the enemy team is not there, and then my team can go take that bush with safety. The other thing I'll do is I'll go in the enemy jungle, I'll see what the enemy jungler is doing, I'll look at his health, right? So Batman, I think the greatest value he provides is actually the information that he can gather about the enemy team, where they're located, what their health levels are, right? What objectives they're trying to do. And the other thing about Batman is, once you know all of that, you can always take good fights with Batman. If you don't want to be in a fight as Batman, you don't need to be in a fight. You can just simply disengage without them even having a chance to do any damage to you. If you see a marksman that happened to wander away from their support, then guess what? You know that, you instantly kill them, and then you get out before the enemy team can collapse on you. So, countered by, this goes to it. Anybody who can counter Batman's invisibility is crippling his utility. Okay, Elsus are killer because you try to go look at the bush, you try to get onto Elsu, and his ward catches you, you're dead. We discussed Batman has no disengage, you are dead, and just as a joke, I put in the Ring of the Fiends, and this is kind of not joking because I'm telling you, it drives me insane every time I play a Quillen, I play against a Wukong, I play against a Batman, and my support does not build Ring of Fiends. You must build Ring of Fiends to counter these invisible units. if you are not building them, you are putting your team in a very bad situation. The other hero is Lindis. She also has her S1 to detect invisible. Some other ones are Max and Illumia. There's anybody who can get vision on Batman is going to give him a lot of trouble. Okay, so who does Batman counter? Batman basically counters marksmen, the mages, the assassins. These are some of the examples I gave because these are meta. The reason, Telenis and Yorn I think are intuitive. They have no disengage. So Batman gets on them, he lands his S2, he gets a stun on him, he hits his S1, he ults, they're dead. Period. Even if they're a couple thousand gold ahead. Like, I regularly kill Telonises who are the most fed on their team. They're like 2,000, 3,000 gold ahead of me. I can still burst them down if they have not built some sort of armor against Batman's burst. Quillen, the reason I think Batman counters Quillen is because when an assassin fights another assassin, it's all about who engages first, who gets their burst damage off quicker. And the thing is, Quillen has invisibility, but his is limited. So Batman can just wait, right? I just wait, I wait, I wait. I know Quillen's ultimate is down, or I see that he is taking a buff, and then I just jump on him. I burst him down before he gets to do any damage to me, and the assassin who attacks first is going to win. Okay, on to builds. So Batman has some fun builds. These are the three that I think are the ones I would preset, okay? So one you have for Snowball, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're starting the game, you get 2 early kills, something like that. I would go into this build, the top build, the Snowball build, because what's going to happen is you are going to have all that armor pin, you're going to have the Omnis for the enhanced attacks, and you're going to weave Omni's passive, the enhanced auto attacks, with your skills. So you're going to S2, first you're going to be in your stealth, right? You're going to be in your ultimate stealth. You're going to go up to the enemy, you are going to hit them with your S2, you're going to auto attack, which is going to stun them, then you're going to use your S1, big damage again, then you're going to auto attack again, and then around that time is when they'll probably try to flicker, they'll probably try to get away, and then you use your ultimate to close the gap back on top of them, auto attack again, they're dead. Any squishy is dead from that combo, especially if you're snowballing. So top build, if you want to snowball, you are getting Muramasa for the tankier bruisers, so you can also destroy them in one combo. And once again, this is assuming you are ahead. Getaway is where I like to go with late game, or if I'm tied, if I haven't snowballed heavily, and I think this is the most reliable build because you can still burst the squishies, but you have a chance of getting out if the game is going late game. This is the build I would most recommend to everybody. I love this build. I found this build on the Thai servers #1 Batman, and I've been using it. I love it. The reason for that is because what happens late game is, let's say the enemies have a tell, I get in great position, I kill the tell, I've done my job as an assassin, but now the enemy team is collapsing and they're killing me, right? They're trying to use all their abilities to burst Batman down, and normally he's gonna die. But with this build, because I have the Hercules shield, I have the prevent death from the Death Sickle, I can actually have that opportunity to get away. And not only do I get away, but the enemy team just used all their damage, all their burst, all their cooldowns to try to kill me, and then my team can just come in and clean up because the enemy carry is dead and the rest of the enemy team just use all their cooldowns on me. Okay, so Batman support. Is it super viable? No. It's not something I would do every single game type of a thing, but it's really fun, right? If you get in that like double lock jungle type of situation, and people, we've all been there, right? You want a jungle, let's say you have a crazy win rate, they're like 40% jungler, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna play Batman anyways, and I'll go to support. It's a very fun thing. So basically, what you're gonna do here is, again, because of the nature of Batman, as long as he has levels, he will be strong enough to burst down the carries, okay? As long as you get that rank breakers, and as long as you are keeping reasonably close in levels, you will be able to kill the marksman. So the shield is good for you because, once again, Batman has trouble getting out. So if I'm support Batman, what I am doing is I'm using my ultimate, I'm roaming the map, I'm checking the jungle, I'm stealing it if I can, I'm checking the objectives, I'm clearing the bush, and Batman does all this very well, which roaming river control is a big responsibility for support, and Batman actually keeps very strong river control. So you will always go into rank breakers. I almost always go into Hercules Madness for my 4th item, And then the last two items are a little bit more optional. If you feel like your damage is really coming online, you can actually go Muramasa and Fenrir's, or you can go to the damage type of items. If you just want to keep soaking enemy aggro and damage, then you can go with the build that I'm showing. The build that I am showing is the one I would still recommend. Okay, anyways, that's enough for the builds. On to hero synergies. So Batman, we've covered this many times now. He has very weak disengage, so that's why I like a Yevnith, for instance, okay? Because let's say Yevnith engages, the enemy team's trying to get out of his ultimate, maybe one or two of them get stunned because of his ultimate. That is a great time for Batman to come in. Yevnith's creating this huge distraction in the middle of the enemy team, and then a Batman has that, he gets on top of the enemy carries, he bursts one down, and then he can get away because they don't want to run into Yevnith's ult. Batman can use it to get away, that type of thing. Grok is another type of synergy where if Grok gets a pull on somebody, they're dead, okay? If Grok hooks any carry before they can do anything to get away. Same thing with Grok's ultimate's really nice because Batman can hit his S2 Batarang on all the enemies ulted by Grok. Then Batman can ult through all those enemies. Then he can do his S1. He can just do insane bursts to everybody in Grok's ult. And that's why I love Grok with a Batman. And finally, Tolan Batarang is an execution type ability. It does more damage based on enemies' health missing, and same with Tolan's ultimate. So when Batman can jump on people, get his burst damage off, they barely escape, and then a Tolan ult comes in, GG for them. I think that works very well. Another thing is Tolan is a very early mid game powerhouse mage, and Batman is the same for your jungle. So this, if you want to go for a comp where you are just going to initiate the snowball and just crush the enemy from the very beginning of the game, Tolan and Batman can be nice. If you do that, you want to have a very late game hyper carry type of marksman like a Teleonis. So just keep that in mind. Okay, finally, what to practice. Batman, I would say, is easier than other heroes, but the Batman truly shines when you are doing your macro tasks well. So when you are positioning yourself for ambushes on the enemy. Okay, so here's an example. So a team fight's starting to happen. Let's say the enemy have a Teleonis or a Yorn or something like that, right? They're trying to be back. They're trying to be in an area where your team can't get to them. So what I love to do as Batman is I'll show them that I'm in the area, okay? And once they see that Batarang above their head, they start panicking. They don't know where to position because they don't know if you're coming from the front. They don't know if you're coming from the back, the left, the right? So they're not really sure where to position, okay? So just by ulting, even if I don't come out, even if I don't attack them, I can still mess up the enemy carries because they're just so scared that I am going to jump on them. Okay, so learning how to intimidate the enemy team is a big part. Learning how to get in a position where you can burst down the carries and then just disengage. So for instance, if the carries get too scared and they're too far away from their front line or their support player who can peel Batman, then guess what? Batman comes out, he gets a kill, and he just runs off before the support or the backup can come in and do anything about him. So that's what I mean by positioning for an ambush. The first thing, by preloading your Omni passive, that's something you do on a lot of heroes, but with Batman, it works very well with his S1. So you say I'm about to go into a fight. What I'll do is I'll actually hit my S1, and now my Omni passive is up. I believe it lasts for 5 seconds, okay? So I'll use my S1, Omni passive will come up, and then I will go in and start the fight. And the reason that works so well is because by the time I initiate, my S1 is back up, and I can actually auto attack them with the Omni enhanced auto attack, S1 them, and then attack them again with an auto attack that will also be enhanced by Omni. So that's huge burst damage. There's other ways to take advantage of it, just play around. And then finally, this is the combo I like to use. So I'm stealth. I'm assuming I'm stealth. I've already used my ultimate, okay? I haven't used the second dash, like the damage and dash part of my ultimate, but I am invisible. So I'm invisible. I go up, don't use your ultimate when you're invisible. Use your S2. You want to use your S2 because it gets the slow on them, and then as soon as you auto attack them, it's going to stun. So it's going to start everything with a CC. So I S2, I auto attack. Now the enemy's stunned. Then I use my S1, okay? And then I do another auto attack because once again, you want to make use of your Omni passive. Okay? Then I hold my ultimate. My ultimate I'm using only if I guarantee that I'm going to kill them, or they have already used their disengage, okay? So if it's a Violet, she combat rolls, then I ult, okay? It's a Teleonis, it's a Yorn, they flicker, then I ult to catch back up to them, because once again, Batman does not have gap closers other than his ultimate, so do not just waste his ultimate. Anyways, that is it for this Batman video. I hope you enjoyed. I am trying a different style. If you've been watching my other guides, you can feel it. Please let me know if you enjoy this style where I am talking about it a little differently. And for those of you who want to see Batman in action, check out my Twitch channel. It is in the links below. Definitely follow, turn on your notifications so you can catch me streaming live. And when you come by, just say in the chat, hey Chaos, can you run some Batman? I'd love to see how you play him, type of thing. And then not only will I play Batman, I'll walk you through my playstyle, I'll walk you through my process. So anyways, I highly encourage you to follow me on Twitch if you are interested in seeing Batman in action. Anyways, with that said, take care, have a nice day, and happy ranking.